Welcome to our web exclusive. I'm Mike Montecalvo, along with Eyewitness News analyst Lieutenant General Reginald Centracchio. We're going to stay on the whole ISIS situation, General, and what's been going on over the last week. Now, on Wednesday, the Vice President spoke out saying that we're basically going to get the terrorists. The big question is, how is that possible with their membership increasing every day?
That's the question. And for the Vice President to have that enthusiasm is welcome, I'm sure, on the part of those that have that kind of desire. The problem is, once you say it, you've got to be able to deliver. And that's exactly what the weakness is of any plan that I've seen to date. Once you say it, you've got to be able to deliver that. And so far, we haven't seen that. They know that, and they leverage that.
Well, the paraphrasing what the Vice President said, he basically said we're going to meet them in hell. So he is saying some strong words, not hearing a lot from the President. So what is the plan at this point?
Mike, there is some divisiveness, as I see it, between the Vice President's statements versus what Obama is saying. Obama is saying we're going to diminish them and destroy them. You can't have both at the same time. You're either going to have a plan to take them out totally and destroy them, not to diminish them, because if you diminish them, there's still that means you're going to tolerate them to a certain extent. And I think we need to come up with a plan that absolutely eliminates the threat by destroying them on their property and on their land.
Well, counterterrorism experts are saying that ISIS now is a direct threat to the United States. How?
It is, because, you know, ISIS has a tremendously different capability than we've seen with Al-Qaeda. Not only does it have a military capability in the form of equipment, but they are extremely well funded, which means they can in fact export that well beyond the borders of Syria and Iraq and the Mideast, certainly to Europe and certainly to the homeland of the United States.
So where are they getting the weapons and the money at this point?
Unfortunately, many of those weapon systems are ours that we left in Iraq, and they're obviously confiscating those and taking them. The big problem is for them, where do they get the ammunition? And eventually they will run out. Whether in fact they can manufacture something that's similar to be able to have them operational is still a concern. But with money, you can do most things.
You know, General, this seems like it's overnight. We're hearing about ISIS. We've heard of the Taliban and Al-Qaeda. You know, where do they come from? They
came from a radical splinter of many of those. Al-Qaeda itself means a networking, and you have different organizations within Al-Qaeda. You know, when we first started to hear the term Al-Qaeda, people would say, what does that mean? It means a network or a base, and many different organizations are part of that base and that network system. You do have radical applications such as ISIS, which is a way off the bar measurement as to how radical they can be. They're well funded, and that's the key. They have a lot of money, and they'll be able to certainly take that threat well beyond Syria and Iraq itself.
Are we better prepared now than we were before 9/11?
I think we're better prepared now, knowing what we can in fact prepare for, such as air threat, perhaps rail threat, sea threat, and to some extent cyber terrorism. My concern is I'm not sure if we have an adequate response capability to having what is referred to as a cocktail approach, meaning it all happens at the same time, meaning bioterrorism, chemical terrorism, cyber terrorism, a nuclear weapon, a dirty bomb, and everything in between. Whether in fact we can weather that storm would be a tremendous challenge.
All right, to that point, so should we be looking for, let's say, little hits to see what they can get away with before they implement a big plan?
You are absolutely right on. All of the things that happen are tests, in my opinion. We test this to see where the weakness is, test that part of where the weakness is. You saw several weeks ago where they approached the top of the Brooklyn Bridge and did something that really superseded any security measures they had unseen. That's a weekness. And they continue to leverage those weaknesses and eventually put together a plan and they apply it.
All right, General, we're running out of time. On Tuesday, 350 more troops were added to Iraq. That's over 1,000 boots on the ground at this point. Will that continue to escalate?
Mike, you and I have talked about mission creep for some time now. That's exactly what's happening. If you put 300 here, 300 there, you have well over 1,000 troops on the ground right now. Somebody needs to be concerned about the logistics and security for those troops. You have what's referred mission creep. You bring more troops in, and already you have where we were several years ago.
Of course, we're going to stay on top of the story on WPRI 12 in Fox Providence and right here on WPRI.com. General, thank you for your thoughts, and thanks for watching.